Good morning, everybody. As we go to the Chitas of today, we're holding in the portion of Nitzavim. We're holding the fifth day, the sixth reading. Friday, we're holding on chapter 30, verse number 11. Mitzvah is this commandment of Mitzav Chayim, which I'm commanding today. It's not very far from you. It's not not very remote from you, not remote from you. But and it's not far from you. Rashi says, what means leila place? It's not concealed from you. Like the word pella, yifale. Uncle is translated are yischases. It's not hidden. And vateda peloyim, which means she went down into concealment, being covered up, confined to concealed location. You can have it. Rashi learns it one way, and the uncle is translated a different way. Leiba shamayim, the Torah is not in the heaven. Leima miyalono hashamayim, which we should say, who's going to take me up to heaven? Bikachen alone will bring it to us. Yashmiena will hear it. Isav and Asena will do it. Rashi says, what it means it's not in heaven. Because if it was in heaven, we'd have to go up to it to learn it. Lalamda. Leimei v'layami, it's not on the other side of the sea. Leimer saying, Mi yavalon alei v'yami kechen alon, who crossed the sea, other side of the sea, and he should take it for us. Yashmiyena will hear it. Isav and Asena, we should do it. Next verse is a verse the whole Tanya Alter Rebbe says he bases the whole Tanya on. Because this thing is very close to you. In your mouth, in your heart, to do. She says, the Torah was given to you, biksav, in the written form, ubalpeh, in the oral form. Everything is there for you to be able to learn and to do. And that completes the Chumash for today. We now continue the 17th chapter, the 17th letter of the Alter Rebbe. Alter Rebbe now returns to the above quoted verse. Your commandment is very wide. Having explained earlier, commandment in the singular refers to God's own commandment, which is tzedakah. Because everything God does is a tzedakah. Whatever God does for the world, He doesn't do because He needs it, because He gains something from it. Purely a tzedakah from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's purely a charity that God do chesed. Olam chesed yabana. The Eibishter, the whole world is only based on the concept of chesed Hashem. It's tzedakah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which God does with the world. So that's the mitzvah. That the Eibishter's mitzvah is very wide. The mitzvah of tzedakah is a vessel so spacious that it can contain the revelation of God in His infinite light. And that's why that this mitzvah that we do, that's God's mitzvah, so to say. And we do the mitzvah in Olam Hazeh, in this world, we give tzedakah. Then that mitzvah is such a wide mitzvah. It has the capacity to be able to contain all levels of revelation of God in this world. And this is what's the meaning. Your commandment is very wide. Mitzvah tzedakah, which is the mitzvah of tzedakah, shikli v'shetach rachamei, which is a vessel that is a vessel of great volume. So that the radiance of the infinite light of God can be invested in this vessel of tzedakah. It's written levush tzedakah, the garment of tzedakah. That this levush is also, whether it's called a vessel, it's called levush, both of them is a concept of a vessel that contains something within it. When are we going to be able to see this unbelievable revelation will be shined in the future? Mashiach comes, and there'll be the resurrection of the dead. Then we'll be able to see, that's Olam Haba, we'll be able to see this revelation begashmis with our own eyes. Chesed Chinam, it's going to be the gratitude, divine kindness. Asrus latata listed by our arousal from the below that we give tzedakah. Zu nikr derech hashbaya, by the kindness of tzedakah initiated by man, which is called the path of God, as mentioned above. Even when this divine revelation is granted in response from the arousal from below, even though it is a response, so it's not it's not tzedakah, it's a cause and effect. It's still considered a gracious kindness, but it's granted out of because it is granted out of all the proportions of man's actions, because there's no comparison between what the tzedakah a person does in this world to the response of Ein Sof. It's not a cause and effect. It's Pasha, the Abish says, like it says, open me up a small part and I'll give you a wide. It's not a response, a small to small, wide to wide. This is an unbelievable response, a response beyond and beyond any reward. So that's why Olam Haba is not a reward. Gan Eden is a reward. Because it's a avodah. Whenever you come to Gan Eden with, that's what you receive back, even though it's unbelievable and it's a greater revelation, but still it's a comparison. There's some comparison to your avodah. But Olam Haba is totally its tzedakah, even though it comes through the aspect of a person's actions in this world. So man's tzedakah is no more than a vessel which enables him to receive the benevolence of divine revelation. That this tzedakah is a vessel that now we can have a revelation that's above and beyond the tzedakah that we gave. This is the meaning, what says very wide, not just wide. Chava me'oid. It's not just wide, it's me'oid, it's very wide. This means that the wideness, it doesn't have an end to the wideness. It's unlimited. It's endless, this wideness. Tzedakah acts as infinitely wide vessel for receiving an infinite degree of godliness. However, at every beginning of the verse quoted above, it's written, to every tichla, to every conclusion, I've seen an end. Tichla is related to the term of kolois nefesh. Tichla means to come to an end. Why? Because the neshama has such a delight in godliness. In Gan Eden, it becomes nothing. It's totally nullified to this unbelievable delight that it has in Gan Eden. It's intense yearning to the point of expire of the soul in Gan Eden. She bechinas kates v'tachla v'tzimtzum. For it, divine light that it yearned for in Gan Eden does have an end and a limit, and it undergoes a contraction, as mentioned above. This is the radiance of the finite light called Mamala Kolam. Lekutei Levi Yitzchak, the Rebbe writes, the Rebbe's father writes, authorized by the father, the Rebbe explains how end, limit, and contraction, there's three expressions over here, end, limit, contraction, respectively refer to three kinds of illumination that radiates within Gan Eden. It also explains why the very choice of the word end rather than limit or contraction. So the Rebbe's father explains that there's a different, the way you say this word, in the concept of end, limit, or contraction. It's all based in the Oiris HaGaluyim, and what the Shama receives in Gan Eden. There's a concept of an end, there's a concept of a contraction, and there's a concept of limitation. And the term to every kind of tichla, when the verse is alluding only to the yearnings of the soul and Gan Eden, because there is an end, because there is levels and par levels in Gan Eden itself. That's what we say. The neshama should have an aliyah. That means that he should end his where he is right now, and he should have an aliyah. He should go to a greater place. So that means we're ending one place, and now we're going to another place. So that shows you that within Gan Eden itself, even though it's a concept of the spiritual world, there are levels, because even in the spiritual world, it's not Ein Sof, it's not an infinite concept, so therefore there are levels. There's unlimited levels in Gan Eden. It says, the Gemara says that Moshe Rabbeinu goes up a level in Gan Eden every day. So Moshe Rabbeinu is already 3,000 years in Gan Eden. Shikos and Likutei Hashas Marizal. It's brought down in the Likutei Hashas of the Rabbi Yitzchak Luria. The Pirush Maim Rabbi saying Zachin Lavracha, which our sages say Talmidei Chachamim Ein Lahem Menucha, that the sages in the world to come have no rest. What means have no rest? Not bodies. They don't have a rest because they're constantly going higher and higher and higher. Ein Lahem Menucha. They're constantly going higher and higher and higher. So they don't have no rest. They're continuing to journey. The neshama continues to journey higher and higher and higher. Because what they the day yesterday was the new day today. And they're in a higher level. So everything comes to it comes to an end. The level they were in comes to an end. And a new level starts. Sha'ilim Tomet, Madrega Madrega. They constantly arise from level to the grasping the Torah, which has no end. So when they can have menucha, Adachatchia, Shiach comes, be the resurrection of the dead. Olam haba, have menucha, because then they will see everything. They won't have to go. They won't be higher and higher, because the revelation of Seviv Kalam will be revealed. It's the revelation of God that will be revealed, so they have everything. They won't need to go any higher. At that time will be revealed the radiance of God's essence. And not only transcend levels, elevation from level to level, no level to level in this level. In this concept, there's no level to level. There's no levels in Eidem Seif. There's only levels in Ziv Hashem, in the way they say the Shtalshlus. Even in the world of Atzilus, you have levels. But you don't have levels in Eidem Seif. It's all one concept. It's all God. So the Mitzshem, when Mashiach comes, then that's why Tzadikim are looking for Menucha. Yaakov Vina Bikash Yaakov Leisha V'Shalva. Even Yaakov said, I want Menucha. And Yaakov Avinu is still waiting for Menucha from the time of the story of Yosef. He's still waiting for Menucha, and he has to come down. Mashiach comes, and Yaakov Avinu will come down again, and I'll have Menucha because he'll have total tranquility. He'll have total the aspect of revelation. He'll bask in the essence of God, not in the ray of God. He'll bask in the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're there. There's no levels. There's no concept of different levels, different echolas. It's all the same thing. At that time, mortal souls will finally repose as they delight in the radiance of God's essence, and that's the whole concept of Tchias HaMesim. That's the whole concept of the resurrection of the dead. My friends, today is the 26th day of the month. 26th day of the month. The Tillim of the day is chapter 119, the second part of chapter 119. If you do that, you do the Chitas of the day. The Rebbe writes today, on the 26th day of Elul, the procedure of koshering meat for eating. How do you kosher meat? By purging of its forbidden blood, is soaking, salting, and rinsing. That's the way you cleanse meat. What is the concept in Avodas Hashem? What is this aspect in our own service to God? How do we cleanse flesh, our flesh? Soaking is immersing oneself in the Rebbe's words, immersing yourself in Torah. Salting is going into Yechidus with the Rebbe. And rinsing, how do you rinse yourself, is by a Chassidish Negin, a Chassidic song. That's a statement of the Frierdiker Rebbe, the Tivis Lubavitcher. Wish you all a wonderful and beautiful Shabbos, my friends. Sunday is, we say Slichas here at 8 a.m. So we're going to do the Chitas on Sunday. Let's hear, let me go off this thing and we'll ask...